So we find ourselves here with a champion, or at least a fan of the current Rose Bowl champions, the Indiana Hoosiers. Scott, how are you feeling after quite a impressive showing?
Oh, so grateful for Kurt Signetti and all of the members and players and coaching staff and everybody else associated with the Indiana University football team. An amazing comeback from what we were 3 years ago. Tremendous achievement here, winning the Rose Bowl, first time ever. Uh, my father and two uncles were at the Rose Bowl game in 1968 when Indiana was there last time, and they watched O.J. Simpson just run roughshod over the IU defense, and it was 14-3 final score, and it really wasn't that close from what I've understood. Uh, but now is able to watch. Woke up nice and early, been able to catch the Rose Bowl parade and everything associated with the Tournament of Roses, and of course the football game, and no question at all about how well Indiana just took care of Alabama, pretty much run roughshod over Alabama that USC Trojans ran over Indiana back in 1968. Uh, Pure dominance from one of the true blue bloods of college football. And now comes the next step and a repeat visit with Oregon coming up this coming Friday. And uh, it'll be another good battle with the Oregon Ducks. Uh, Everything I'm in reading too, I believe, because I did see the other teams involved. I saw the Miami game and I saw the game with Ole Miss. Very impressed with both of those teams, but I do believe that the national champion will come out of the game on Friday, whether it be Indiana or Oregon. Obviously, I'll be on the back of the Hoosiers, uh, and really with could be an amazing finish to the season. A few things I would like to say right now, but I don't want to jinx the whole process. But
To where
could be very very uh, amazing type of finish for the Hoosiers this season, even beyond just the national championship, even beyond the Rose Bowl championship, hopefully soon to be the Peach Bowl championship. Uh, it's all coming up this Friday. Looking forward to it.
So on that same subject, we all know, Fernando Mendoza, great quarterback, just won a Heisman, doing really well. If you were him, would just a little part of you consider losing this game and getting out, not winning the national championship, so that you maybe don't have to go be a Raider?
Actually, you know what? I've been kind of thinking about this. This might be the next early step for the Raiders organization. They got Bowers a couple of years ago. They drafted Genty this past year, and now they have the quarterback Mendoza. Uh,
But
get
would you
some,
want
get some
to be a
line.
Raider?
If they can get some offensive line players, um, we might be talking about a serious look at the Raiders for a
And yet,
Super
and you have to
Bowl
remember, Tom Brady
in
is
say
now
4
partial
years.
owner of the
You
team,
got Brady's
so
owner.
that's bringing a lot of stuff in too.
So, you know what? My crystal ball hasn't usually been very good, but I'm going to go ahead and predict that Mendoza goes to Vegas. We could see the Raiders in the Super Bowl. I know Bob's not going to like to hear this, but we're going to see the Super Bowl. I'd say 4 years. Give them 4
Now,
years and put everything else. They might be a
would you
they'll be
become
a
a
better.
Raiders fan if he goes to the Raiders? Would you be a little more friendly towards them?
Well, maybe a little bit more friendly. I'll have to see
Okay,
what they do, but
very fair.
uh, but I tell you what, that's like I said, the Raiders have started the development of a good team. Actually, I was kind of sad to see that Carroll had gotten dumped uh, earlier today because I thought that he would be a decent coach to help develop that team. But
I'm sure
we'll
we'll
see
talk
how
about it
that.
later, but I am surprised he only got the 1 year. I do agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
All right, last question about Indiana from our resident Indiana fan. How do you feel about Josh Hoover committing and that he's going to be coming in to be the replacement, the TCU quarterback? Do
Yeah, we got Hoover coming back. We got
you
now
like
we
it?
got the receiver from Michigan State, Marsh, is coming in. A couple of good running backs to replace the running backs that we have now. They're going to be graduating, Emsey and Black. Um, I tell you what, Indiana pretty much just stockpiled, just reloaded
So
through
I
the
know it's super
portal.
early and you can't, I as well as I do how crazy college ball gets.
Mm.
But if you had to right now, would you put your money down on the Hoosiers not only winning this national championship, but potentially being set up for a back-to-back win, taking it next year?
It's a good thing to think about.
Do
Good
you
thing
think
to think.
so? Do you think they got a chance
Yeah,
as of right now? Yeah, all right.
yeah.
That's what I like to
Yeah,
hear.
I think that. I know a lot. What other returning defensive people that they have coming back? Um, really going to need to restock both the offensive line and the defensive lines for next year because quite a bit of them are going to be graduating this year. So if we get a good transfer collection, porter collection for the offensive and defensive lines, uh, yeah, I think I'd be turning over my money right now. So long as I get, we don't quite have it yet for that turnover for the lines, but get a couple of good names.
I
Uh,
think Matt
it's going to be
just
going.
put in a comment that I think makes a lot of sense too. It does depend on playoff formatting because it does look like things are going to change again of how things are decided. But I think that they've put themselves in a good place. And I think it'd be very poetic with Mendoza if he goes to the Raiders and is part of that kind of rejuvenation because the Hoosiers haven't really been a huge name in college ball until pretty much this year. Like they've been trying to get there and come back. Now they're getting there. It'd be very interesting for the Raiders to do the same thing because the Raiders have been kind of for quite a while now. Like their biggest story was they moved to Vegas.
Have the Hoosiers ever had a number one football player? I'm sure they've had several
I think
basketball
they've had
guys, but
close. I think they've had close, but I don't think they've ever had a number one football draft like Mendoza's. I mean,
No,
I would say 99% chance he's going to be going number one. Wouldn't you guys agree?
he'll go.
Like unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, no,
yes,
he'll
I'd
go.
say so too.
No, the best Indiana, the closest Indiana got to a Heisman Trophy was Anthony Thompson uh, back in the early 1990s, and he finished second. But that was the closest Indiana football has ever come to being the um, get the Heisman award until now and have a decent selection within the draft. Not until
Yeah, I
this.
feel like winning the Natty is like the only thing they have left to do this year to get the trifecta. Like they're doing very, very well. I've been really impressed with them, and I agree. I think they're stockpiling well. If they can keep this program going the way that they've been, I could see Hoosiers being a force for at least the next decade.
Yeah, and along with they've given big extensions to Signetti, but they've also been giving big extensions to both the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator for at least another 3 years. So
I mean,
all
we all know Longhorns are going to win the championship next year, but I think Hoosiers will be close.
yeah, it's going to be very
Scott,
close.
you look pretty intimidating, shaking that rose at everybody right now too. I'm a little Like,
Careful.
dang.
Careful.
I'm scared. I'm scared, Scotty.
Keegan, we can't hear you. You've been muted for like the whole show so far.
Have I? Got Antoine Randall. What position did he play at IU? Because I know when I was in Bloomington, they had his picture up on the stadium. Was he quarterback there, or had he transitioned to receiver?
No, he was still a quarterback. He was a quarterback at Indiana, but easily really should have been a receiver at Indiana if they had anybody who could actually get him the ball. The only reason Antoine Randall was a quarterback is because there was no other Antoine Randall L's on the staff that could have gotten the ball that far that fast that Randall L could go. So that was the only reason why Randall L was a quarterback.
Hey, he threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So
there we go. He could.
So, David, as far as the college playoff bracket, the Final Four that we're at, is this where we thought we would be at? I mean, it seems like kind of smaller schools outside of maybe Oregon.
Yeah, no, I think there's been some upsets. I think everyone definitely expected Ohio to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big time surprise. And I think we all thought Ole Miss was written off as soon as Lane hit the door. Like as soon as the coach left, we wrote them off. So I'm impressed with who's there, and I think it'll be interesting. But I do agree with Scott. I would be very surprised if we don't see Indiana in the finals. But if anybody was going to take them out, it would be Oregon. I do agree. Whoever wins that game is probably going to be the national champion.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that teams who have had a bye are 1-7. Now,
Yeah, a bye in college seems
It's
to
not a
do
good
the
thing.
opposite. Like it does not help. It seems like, I mean, they've argued this in the NFL as well. Like it's sometimes better to keep that momentum going. Sometimes
Right.
having so much time off, especially as far off as they have in college. Because I mean, once the season ends, if you're not in a bowl game, you're off that week. If you got a bye, you're off another. Like it could be almost a month, pretty much, from your last game to when you're hitting the field again. So
yeah, it was.
it's rough.
I was saying, in all honesty, what sport does a bye help you? I mean, I know it's not the same, but when you look at the Rockies in 2007, had they not had, what was it, like a 16-day break from the National League Championship game to the World Series? Could they have
Yeah,
won at
I mean-
least a game? I mean,
I would argue in the NFL, a bye is helpful in the sense that it's a really good chance for injuries to help get patched up. I think as hard as you're going in professional football, it does help to have that, but more than a week, I think is way too much. Because I know sometimes they'll get like 2 weeks between stuff, and it's like, no, don't need it. Or if they don't use that time appropriately, as we've seen with teams that have like done stupid stuff during their bye weeks, and they come back and yeah.
And
What was it in the playoffs when the Cowboys had it with Tony Romo and they all went to like Cancun? No.
Well, what about the
Awful.
Giants with their party boat? And then since then, they've won like 5 games or something.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's pros and there's plus and minuses to having that bye week. I think it can be very handy, but you've got to use it the right way and you've got to stay fresh. And in college football, I think it may be more of a hindrance than a help. Because I don't think they really need it, and definitely not as long as they get it for, because they've already got that time span that they're not playing. So by on top of that, it's just so long, especially when you're that young. Like 3-4 weeks seems like forever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not training, practicing hard every single day in that time. So
Yeah, I would say too in the World Series, like Matt was saying, if you have a lot of time off between, the championship game and the World Series. Like with the Rockies, I think that amount of time they had just killed them. I don't know if
yeah,
they would
it
have
really does.
game,
And especially baseball, because you're just so attuned to playing so quickly. Like sometimes you'll play 2 games in a day.
Mhm.
It's not like football where you always have at least a week off. Like I think you're a little more prepped. Your body is used to that. Whereas baseball, you take too much time off and your body's like, okay, are we not doing this anymore? Are
Yeah,
we
we're in off-season mode.
are we done?
Especially after doing 162 times and going a full season
Exactly.
and then getting a break off. Yeah, your body is kind of like, okay, we're done. All right.
Yeah, we're in rest mode now. Let's
Yeah.
let's get out. Yeah, so baseball and basketball, I think buys hurt more than they help.
Mhm.
Well, and then just going back to the playoff formatting real quick too. I mean, at some point, where do you draw the line? Because if you go, say, to 24 teams, you're going to be playing what 6, 7 weeks of football before you get to your championship game.
You're going to
Like
be so
it's
beat
gonna
up,
be
and
ridiculous.
each
Yeah.
week gets harder up until. I'm telling you, eventually the football playoffs is going to look like March Madness for basketball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're going to have like 30, 40 something teams all going for it, and I don't think the game is going to benefit from that, because football is not basketball. You can't play it that same way. Basketball, you can play 3 or 4 games a week and you're fine. Football, if you tried to play 2 or 3 games a week, you're dead.
Yeah. And especially two or 3 days in a weekend between
Yeah,
Thursday
and then especially when theoretically every game you play is getting harder because you're going against tougher opponents as you keep going. By the time we got to those finals, you're going to be pulling from your 3rd and 4th string guys because everybody else is fucked up.
Yeah, they will.
I mean, I do agree 12 maybe not be the ideal number, but I would not increase it too much more than that.
I'm not so sure that you really can. 12,
It gets sticky.
14 or 16, but I couldn't see anything like, say, 20. There's no way it would be able to work out.
I think the problem is more not so much that there's only 12 spots. I think the problem is more of how they decide who gets them. We need to have a better system in place for determining who gets, like NFL, it's very clear-cut rules of who's going to get in and why, and like the wins and stuff. Whereas college ball, it still has a lot to do with, well, I think the strength of this schedule and that team beat them by more. Like there's too many variables in it, and it's too much an opinion piece when it comes to college. It always has been. I mean, like the championship game used to be like the committee would be like, oh, these two. Like it's crazy. It needs to be just like, more structured.
I thought, watching the kind of the conversations and who is in, who's out. It's just like the NCAA basketball selection. You always have 64 teams. There's always going to be the 65th and the 66th. You increase it a little bit, there's always going to be the, 71st and 73rd. And they should have been in. And then it's going to be who's the 84th place and who's the 85th place. They should have been in too. It's the same debate that we had this year with football as we have every single year with the NCAA basketball. And it's all because it's a committee of people making a choice instead of just.
And you're never going to make everybody happy.
Just like NFL should be.
Yeah, NFL, at least it's always like there's a very clear cut why this team got in or didn't get in. It's like, hey, this is what you have to do to get in. You have to win this game, this game, this game, and you're in. Or, hey, if you don't win this, you're out. And I think they need to find a better way to do that in college. And I get that it's difficult because there's so many teams, but there's got to be a cutoff. Yeah, I think even going to 20 and just adding like 4 more games, like on each quadrant, having another team, like if it's still, that's crazy. That's so many teams.
Yeah.
It becomes its own mini tournament at that point.
Right. Yeah. Which I think
12 is where it should
to go.
Which is stupid. Then what's the point of the season?
I don't know. I think they've built in enough kind of like mini bye weeks between some of these games that they're going to be like, you're not adding to this season. You're just putting another game in there.
Either that or something that I could be okay with is if they wanted to do maybe like all the major divisions have their own like championship, kind of like we do, but an actual one, and then just the champions go to the real playoffs for the national championship.
But what about Notre Dame?
Fuck Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame is going to have to basically put themselves into a conference.
Yeah, so they have to either get with the program or they're done. They're out.
Yeah, because
sucks to suck.
Now, Notre Dame isn't in a conference. Then really that was kind of a good. You have a great recommendation there, Keegan, but everybody was like, "Well, Notre Dame's not in a conference, So we got to be able to figure out how we can get them in, and then they still can't quite do it properly.
Yeah, but I feel like we don't. They either need to get with the program, join a conference, or they're done. I mean, especially with all this bullshit they pulled this year, being the first to be like, "Well, we didn't get in, so we're not going to do any bowl games either." Like,
Yeah.
that's just throwing a hissy fit. You're being a little bitch, and you're not wanting to, like, if you refuse to be in a bowl game, you should be ineligible for playoffs the next year.
Well, actually, if I was on the Notre Dame football team and say I was a freshman or a sophomore and I was, I rode the bench the whole year, well, there was a whole lot of practices and other games that they could have played that a lot of the bench warmers now
They got robbed.
Well, hey, I was ready to play. I wanted to go. But nobody, all the older people didn't want to go. Well,
because who knows? Maybe that would have been the chance for one of those kids to get some recognition from some scouts, from
Exactly.
or be interested in jumping in the portal. Like, there's a lot of reasons, and I think it's just terrible sportsmanship to say, "Well, we didn't get what we want, so we're going to take our ball and go home." Basically, that's what they did. They just said, "We're not gonna play."
The Heisman Trophy winner is, say, I don't know, next year, but in 2 years could have been one of those kids that had to not go and play because Notre Dame said.
And I mean, it's not the most exciting, but I could at least respect it if they did a bowl game and they said, "But we're not going to play any starters. We're just going to let our new kids get a chance to see the field and be in a crowd." Okay, that's fine. At least they're getting a chance instead of just saying, "Nah, somebody else."
Yeah.
So I think that's silly.
It was.
So, like I said, fuck Notre Dame.
Well, on that note, let's move on to the big news of today outside of playoffs starting. Lots of coach shakeups. David, I know at least you were really excited with one. Jerry may have waited a little bit, but he got the job done.
Yes. Eberflus fucking out the door, and hopefully that's the last the NFL ever has to see of him. I am so glad this guy is gone, and I was terrified because there was a chance that Jerry was going to give him another year, because ultimately getting rid of him shows that Jerry messed up at the beginning of this year. And Jerry Jones hates anybody ever saying he was wrong or, owning up to a mistake. So there was a chance he was going to try to let him ride it out. But I really think the new head coach, I think Schottenheimer, I think he was a big part of being like, no, we're getting rid of him and we're going to do it now, because Jerry is infamous for waiting forever to make coach firings.
Mm-hmm.
All the time when they get rid of staff, it's always near the end. And once they do that, all the good candidates are gone. They drag their feet and they don't care. And then they end up hiring some bum off the street or promoting internally some dude that doesn't deserve it. So I'm very happy they did this. And I really hope that it's because they have their eyes on somebody that's actually going to make a difference and do a really good job coming in. Because again, if they could just get that defense up, I feel so much better about the entire team.
Yeah. And they haven't had a requested interview at least publicized yet. I'm sure they got something working
today. So today's the very first day that people could legally, technically in the league, do interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. Something that I thought was really funny though, Quinnen Williams shared the post that the Cowboys made about getting rid of Brian, and was like, really looking forward to the bright future, which I thought was really funny. And then on the actual Instagram post that the Dallas Cowboy team put out with that same thing, George Pickens is one of the people that liked it.
I mean, yeah, that defense, I will say, wasted the offense this year, because the Cowboys' offense was good. I mean,
it was like one of the top of the league the whole season. Mm-hmm. Dak, he even at his press conference after the last game was asked about it, and in a PR way, he basically was like, "The fuck are we supposed to do if our defense can't stop anybody? Like, I can get all the points in the world, but if they're also doing it, it kind of just makes every game a coin flip."
Yeah.
Well, you guys already mentioned it as far as the Raiders, Pete Carroll. They have had quite a few requested interviews. You got Clint Kubiak, Brian Flores, Jesse Mentor, Clint Kubiak, I already said him, Robert Saleh, Chris Shula, Joe Brady, Brian Dable, and Vance Joseph. So
See,
I think they're just kicking the tires on all these people.
I think so, but I do agree. You and me kind of talked about it a little bit. I think now that Harborough is out of Baltimore, I definitely could see the Raiders having some conversations with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
But
Raiders
but
could,
I
and
think the Giants really want him too.
yeah, Giants want him, and it sounds like him and Lamar did not see eye to eye this season. Lamar's been wanting out, so that might be the end of Lamar in Baltimore. With the change, though, maybe not, depending on who they can get.
I don't think. I think it might have been similar to the Brady situation when he was still in New England. Yeah, with Belichick, and I think it came down to, hey, do you keep Brady or Belichick? And they kept Belichick. I think here they were like, you keep Lamar or Jim, and they decided to go with their talented quarterback. I would be surprised at this point now if Lamar leaves. I mean, I could see it if he wants to go, but he's kind of the top dog there now. Anybody they bring in is going to be wanting to work with him probably. If he's got more of a say in things, I think he would stick around. But I could also see a real dominant coach coming in and being like, I want to start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So it could go either way, but I'd be a little more surprised now if Lamar leaves, because I don't think they would leave I don't think QB and coach at the same time, but it's possible.
It's possible because then you get that new coach in and kind of builds the team in his image, a young team. And Lamar still has a lot of talent, but he's been mentioning other teams, Miami most notably. I know the Raiders was another one, which would be interesting if Harbaugh goes there. I think that kind of disqualifies.
Could you see a new coach coming into the Ravens trading Lamar for Quinn Ewers over in Miami, and Quinn being the Baltimore Ravens quarterback?
No.
Yeah, no, I don't see that one either.
You don't think they would do it?
No, I don't. I don't think Quinn did enough in that final game against New England. Not his fault, but as far as like that team needing to evaluate, I just don't know if he's going to jump off. And I think there's some other quarterbacks that are going to be on the market that might be a little bit more eye-catching to some people.
Who would you grab that's out there right now for the Ravens?
For the Ravens, I'm trying to think who's going to be available.
I can go with Brian Flores on that one.
No.
Quarterback.
Oh, quarterback. When did they go for Bo Nix? Trade Lamar Jackson to Denver?
I heard that's going to happen. I heard that's the most likely.
There.
Don't wish that evil onto Lamar Jackson.
That's not evil. That's not as evil as it could be.
It's not.
Fans will boo the quarterback. This is a tradition.
I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think he's going to end up going anywhere. But I would love it if Joe Burrow went to the Ravens.
He's going to come to Minnesota. And then McCarthy's going to sit on the back end for a little bit.
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think
Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think Burrow is unfortunately going to go anywhere.
No, you can stick Aaron Rodgers anywhere else but Minnesota.
That's where he said his dream is. So they want to make it happen.
The Vikings already came out and said they're going to kick the tread on some quarterbacks, not rookies but veterans. So I can see it.
Let's go kick the treads on Phillip Rivers.
They were actually cited as saying we want the most veteran that we can get, especially if it's somebody who really wants to be here.
Well, there you go, Phillip Rivers. He's 44. He's aged.
No, he's done.
Don't do that to us, Matt.
He's got 10 kids. The guy's never going to be done playing.
I heard it's actually kind of ignited that he really wants to come back to coaching in the NFL.
He seems to really, really like coaching the high school level. And
yeah.
I could see him being one of the early coaching selections.
Yeah, they were apparently letting him do some like quarterback coaching and stuff in that last game. And he was saying in a press thing that like he loved it. And he's very seriously considering that's what he wants to do next in his career. I think he's finishing up the high school just because his kid's there. And then once they're done, I think he wants to come back to the NFL in a coaching capacity. And honestly, he'd probably do a damn good job.
Probably would.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I would not be upset if any team I was supporting brought him in and gave him a shot.
Now, Cleveland Browns got rid of Stefanski, which I think all of us kind of expected. Their list of requests range from okay to who to that definitely seems like a Browns move. They have Todd Monken, Aiden Durd, Jim Schwartz, Brian Flores, Jeff Halfley, Joe Brady, Vance Joseph, Mike McCarthy, and Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, who just got fired from the Cardinals.
I think you missed Nicholas Burgles.
No, Nick said he turned him down.
Did you turn him down already, Nick? You're not even going to go for the interview?
No,
Damn. All right.
I wouldn't want it.
But you get Shador Sanders, the man whose number is retired.
I get shitter Sanders. Sorry.
Whoa.
Hey.
Sorry. I don't want to.
He's got the connections to take you home.
I'm sure he does.
He's a Colorado legend. Like Matt said, he's already been retired.
Nope.
Arizona Cardinals, another team, and a lot of
Hold
the
on,
same
before you move on to Arizona, I would find it so funny if Mike McCarthy went to the Browns.
Well, it's not his only option.
It'd be such a Browns move. I'm telling you, if anybody is watching this that has any power, do not hire Mike McCarthy for fucking anything. Okay, don't do it.
We got to move on to Arizona because they have requested Mike McCarthy. For real, Mike McCarthy, Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, Chris Shula, Clayton Adams, Brian Flores, Thomas Brown are their requests there. So McCarthy, a hot name. He's only been. It seems to be like his way of getting back in the league. He coaches off a year, coaches off a year.
I think it'd be really funny if he just kind of became the joke of the league, where everybody requested, let's just see if we can get Mike to come here now. And they just bring him out to all these places, and nobody's actually going to hire him. But they're just like, yeah, let's see if he'll get on a plane.
Let's see what happens. The Rams have not interviewed anyone yet for their special teams coordinator, who they've been unhappy with, and they fired, I think, post Seattle.
I don't think they're as worried about it until the playoffs are over. I think they want to see where they sit before they worry about special teams. I feel like the head coaching and stuff is kind of the main ones that they really want to get ahead of it. Because if you don't grab who you want when you can, they go fast.
One, Miami Dolphins have held on to their coach as of now. They have requested a bunch of, GM interviews. I don't think anyone that really jumps off as far as name for us.
I'd be willing to give them our GM. We don't even need anything in exchange. We'll just send him.
Hey, he'd build them a nice little stadium.
How funny would that be if he was the owner of one team but the GM of another?
Both in the same division. Turns out he's the Eagles mascot too. He takes the.
No, he was the Raven mascot that got hurt.
Let's see. Giants have a whole bunch of requested interviews.
The Giants put a listing up on Craigslist, and we're just like, "Hey, have you ever seen football? Come interview."
Yeah, here's some names: Kevin Stefanski, Mike Kafka, Cliff Kingsbury, and Clint Kubiak again, Nicholas Bergstrom, and recently we did hear about Harbaugh being, I think, their main target, which feels like a team that he could actually do some magic with if he went there.
I hate to say it. I think he would actually be a great fit there. I think he could take the Giants back to a winning team, and I don't like that. So don't let him go there.
Don't let it happen. Jets have not done anything. Wait, what?
I've been saying with Vegas now, they're in get the early guys in there, tight end, fullback, running back, potential quarterback here, led by Harbaugh as the coach. That'll speed up the development quite a bit.
Well, no,
Yeah, but
2 games.
if I were a head coach coming into the Raiders, I'd want some guaranteed, like hey, if you fire me after year one, I get a $50 million bonus or some penalty. Like the Raiders are this fourth or fifth head coach in 5 years. Like it is ridiculous up there.
The Raiders next year have to pay $50 million in fired head coaches and offensive coordinators.
Yeah,
Honestly,
five
that's
different
probably
people.
the best job in the world.
See,
Fired
and that's what I was
NFL
saying
head
last
coach.
night when we were talking about it, because I think Nick was like, "No, I wouldn't accept it." I was like, "Hell yeah, I would." You get fired after doing a shitty job, and be set for years because they're still having to pay out your contract.
After I sign that contract, you can fire me before game one even kicks off if you want. I don't care. I'll laugh all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
All right, so David's throwing his name out as far as a potential. So Vegas, if you're listening,
Any place, any coaching, I'm in. I'll go wherever.
Brendan already said he's already in Las Vegas attire. Look at him right there. He's ready to go support Vegas.
Mhm.
Jets haven't fired their coach. I think they probably should have. They haven't requested interviews for a defensive coordinator. Titans obviously got rid of their coach mid-season. They've requested Cliff Kingsbury, Raheem Morris, which is interesting, Kevin Stefanski, Vance Joseph, Jason Garrett.
Again, super funny. Funny.
I didn't.
You know what, though? I hate to say this. I would take Jason Garrett over Mike McCarthy, probably.
Who are they going to give over to NBC then? Is that a trade to?
Yeah, they got to find somebody else to step in. Just like if anybody takes, what's his name? God, who is it that took over for Sanchez?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, if anybody takes Matt Ryan for anything, they got to find a new anchor.
Yeah.
Well, the Falcons are promoting him to president.
Yeah, let's see.
The
Commanders
promoted to CEO.
Yeah, you just fail upwards.
Yeah, Commanders, no request yet because they got rid of the OCDC today. And Atlanta Falcons are the final one. Kevin Stefanski, Clint Kubiak, Joe Brady, Mike LaFleur from the Rams, Brian Flores, and David's favorite for the Falcons, Mike McCarthy.
I do wonder how many of these places are kind of holding off because they can't interview anybody from any of the playoff teams yet. So I wonder if, they've got their eyes set on people that are in the postseason right now and, don't really care about interviewing until these people get a little more availability.
Well, I think Vance Joseph was doing 3 interviews this week because the Broncos have a bye week.
I was going to say,
is he allowed to? I thought if you were in it, you had to wait a certain amount of time or something.
You can interview, but you just can't be hired until after your team's been eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, all I've heard about the Cowboys, at least, I don't think they've put out anybody for defensive coordinator yet. I have heard they're very interested in Brian Flores, but I was talking to Nick about this earlier. I don't know if he would take that position over a head coaching job. I think
it feels like he'll get a head coaching job this year.
Well, I guess it would also depend on the money. I mean, if Jerry's willing to shell out head coaching type money for it, maybe for a year or two to get a better. I mean, maybe if he doesn't like any of the teams out there, because like I told Nick, I think we both agreed, I'd rather be a DC in Dallas than a head coach in Vegas.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
or even Cleveland for that matter too.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to be one of the dregs out there? Because none of these teams, except the Ravens, I would say, are a team that I'd be excited to be a head coach for personally. Maybe the Giants.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's one that it could come back. It's been shitty for a while, but they used to be good. But all the other teams, it's not anything that I would be like, oh man, that's a dream job. It'd be like, oh.
The Falcons are maybe in that tier, but they have quarterback questions and a lot of money.
Yeah, well, the Falcons, okay, but you'd have to give me a long enough contract and understand that we're going to be rebuilding for 2 or 3 years before anything happens.
I would be okay with Tennessee because they have the draft capital and the.
Well, Tennessee's not open, is it?
Yeah,
they're $100 million, to free agent money.
You've also got that brand new stadium.
So I'd be okay with Tennessee's job, but that's probably about the only one that I'd be like.
Yeah, I feel like Tennessee, Atlanta, the Ravens, and the Giants, that's a that'd probably be the only ones I'd even be willing to look at. Like, I wouldn't take Raiders, Browns, anything like that personally. I'd be like, I'm good.
Definitely not those two. The Browns and Raiders, especially with the turnover and the turmoil. The Browns are still paying Watson next year. Like they can't even get rid of him. It's a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess that I wouldn't want to have. I don't want to clean up somebody else's mess, and that's what you would be doing there for quite a while. I do agree with what Scott was saying earlier. Like the Raiders are in a potentially a good spot to start rebuilding, but I wouldn't want to come in as a brand new head coach for my first head coaching job to something like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather go, like I said, like I feel like if you're a DC for Dallas, that's a really good stepping point to almost any other head coaching job after that. If you do a good job, a lot of people will want you.
Yeah, because you think Dallas, they're always on prime time, so a lot of eyes are going to be on you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's high risk, high reward because if you do a shitty job, everybody's going to know.
Everyone's watching as well.
But if you get it done, good for you.
Well, shall we get to the meat of our conversation today?
Yeah, Nick, we've been really concerned about how much you've been drinking lately, and we have some letters we'd all like to.
Listen. Okay, I was told to replace the word problem with opportunity earlier, and I have a drinking opportunity. Okay.
Your mom misses you, man.
Yeah.
When we talk about bring Nick home, we actually mean
I know. Okay.
Have them unban him so that he's allowed on campus again.
Unban me.
No, obviously this week the NFL playoffs are starting, and I think we actually have a pretty good wild card slate. There's a couple kind of wish-washy ones, but I think overall pretty solid, I think, as far as the teams that got in. It's good. It's crazy that the 3 NFC West teams have the 3 best records in the NFC, personally. But that's me. David, as far as this first week, what are you looking forward to the most as far as these 6 games we'll be getting?
Game-wise of what I think is probably going to be one of the best games of the weekend, it's probably going to be Buffalo-Jacksonville. I think that's going to be one of the closest ones. A lot of questions from both of those teams, but a lot of, confidence on them as well. So I think that'll be a really good game. I also think the Green Bay Chicago game will be very interesting. That is a long-time rivalry, so it's always cool getting to see those in the playoffs. So I'm definitely excited for that one as well. I think those are the two on either side that I'll be most interested in watching. But like you just said, there's not really a loser amongst any of these games. Like, I don't think any of these are going to be a snooze fest. I think we got a chance for some upsets on a couple of them. And the only one that I think is going to potentially be a massacre is the Houston-Pittsburgh game.
Hey, maybe on the Houston side, if Pittsburgh brings that Catholic priest back out.
Hey, yeah, all right, I wasn't supposed to say it, but I got word that there's priests out there all week, and they are holy watering they actually exchanged the sprinkler water with holy water, and they are just out there praying this entire week. So honestly, Aaron Rodgers is going to fly during this game, like literally is just going to sprout angel wings and be able to fly during the game.
I thought that was the most hilarious thing. I mean, not the kicker from the Ravens missing it, but post-game them just showing that there was a priest like dousing the field in holy water on that end zone.
For the Steelers.
For the Steelers. It's like, what? Yeah. Why?
I mean, like I told you, dude, that missed kick, that was divine intervention.
Yeah, they said, no, we can't let Baltimore in.
Plus, look at the Houston Texans logo. Bull or demon?
You bring up a very valid argument, David. Now that I look at it that way,
I'm gonna say they're actually a bull because we all know that they are a very wholesome defense. They have a very wholesome defense.
You know what? That's right. The holy water is not going to work because they are already such a wholesome, God-fearing, and America-loving team.
Yes,
Texans to the Super Bowl, it's going to happen.
it could happen if they can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I think Pittsburgh, their defense has been playing much better these last couple of weeks. And I think it just comes down to offense. And who knows? Maybe DK wants to go out and have a good game since he almost cost them the division title there. So
I will say it'll be cool that he's getting back out there. Like, it'll be interesting that his comeback is during the playoffs. But I think Houston is a much better team than the Baltimore Ravens were this year. And it literally took that holy water for them not to lose to the Ravens. So
that's why they're going to have two priests this game.
oh, shit. Is that the secret weapon?
Yeah, one that douses the football in holy water.
Could you imagine if they start out the season and every game they just add another priest? So
They just
late
go
season, you
undefeated.
basically have another football team that's all priests that are just there.
They're just like, man, no one can tackle these guys. It's amazing.
Undefeated season.
Brendan, I know which game you're looking most forward to. How are you feeling with that game?
Indifferent. I'm excited just because we're in the playoffs and it's a home game, and at least, the 49ers have to come west. I am a little worried just because the 49ers, the last couple games I've watched of theirs, seems to be
They're a solid team.
yeah. I mean, I know they have a lot of injuries on the defensive side, which kind of gives me a little bit of hope. But just how hit and miss our offense has been this year kind of, downplays that a little bit.
You said the 49ers are going west, or are they going east? Or the Phillies going east? I was like mixed up. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought they didn't get the home game.
Well, they have the better record. They should probably.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a good game, too, though. I mean, Philly and San Fran always puts up good games.
Yeah, our offensive coordinator, I just feel like and if we lose, I wouldn't be shocked if we fired him or Nick Sirianni. I mean, I've seen Philly do harsher things to Super Bowl winning coaches.
Don't talk about Nick Sirianni that way. He's going to be the head coach of the Browns next year.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni needs to get some sleep, so maybe him going to Cleveland will be good. That guy's got some serious baggage under his eyes.
Honestly, I don't know why. I could absolutely see him going to the Raiders. Like, I just feel like he could actually be a fit there. I can see it in my mind's eye.
Coordinators.
It'll be interesting.
Scott, which of these 6 games are you most looking forward to?
The Bears and Green Bay, whether it's in the playoffs or any time of the year, even if it's preseason, is going to be a battle. That's going to be a really good game. I agree. I think the Buffalo and Jacksonville game will be very interesting for really kind of opposite reasons. Jacksonville, which is you're kind of wondering how well they're going to do. Well, they've been playing much better recently. And Buffalo, who you always think is as a top-notch team, they've been really struggling this year. So, they're kind of two ships passing in the night here. One's going up, one's going down. See which one conquers when they both meet up. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Buffalo kind of just squeaked into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they kind of do. They did.
Nick, which one are you looking most forward to?
Green Bay and Bears. Like, I don't think that's an uphill battle for both teams, I think, right now. I'm hoping Chicago comes out on top. If they do, I'll wear a Bears jersey to next week's discussion because I have Khalil Mack. But that's the game I'm looking forward to most this weekend.
Matt, which one are you looking most forward to?
Being a Vikings guy, I love the Battle of the North, man. I think Chicago and Green Bay is going to be a hell of a game.
Bobby, what about you? Any game you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the maybe the New England Los Angeles game. So I think Los Angeles is going to get beat.
So you're just looking forward to the Patriots?
I just want to see.
He just hates the Chargers.
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't deny it. So
What about you, Keegan? What game are you most looking forward to that doesn't have a team from Chicago in it?
okay, a non-Chicago game. Okay, so I guess minus the Chicago game.
Because obviously that's the one you're the most interested in, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of have some stuff in your background there that might give it away.
Well, that's because Caleb Williams is now the all-time passing leader for the Bears for a single season. So,
Still not as good as Jaden Daniels, though. Isn't that crazy?
hey, Jaden Daniels got his coaches fired this year.
Right.
So outside of that, I think Buffalo Jacksonville is like the easy answer because I think Jacksonville is a pretty exciting team. Like Scott said, they are vastly improved from even a few weeks ago, and of course, big Josh Allen fan. The one I'm kind of interested in, maybe the sleeper, Carolina or the Rams, because the Rams haven't been doing as hot, and Carolina beat them when the Rams were on like their prime kind of run this year. So it'll be interesting to see if Carolina can sneak out a win and move on. So we shall see. But David, which side should we start with, AFC or NFC?
You know what? Since we have this nice board in front of us, let's go, left to right. Let's start with the NFC.
Okay, David, Rams, Carolina. Who is moving on?
I agree with what you said. I do think it's going to be more of a surprise than people expect because even with Carolina at a technically higher seed, everybody definitely thinks Rams are still probably a Super Bowl favorite to some extent. I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect. I think Rams are going to come into it kind of underestimating the Panthers a bit. So it's going to be a lot closer than they assumed. But ultimately, I do like Matthew Stafford a lot. I think he's MVP material. Great quarterback, great guy. I think he's going to get it done. I don't know if they're going to make it past the next round, but I do think they're going to be able to get one over on the Panthers.
Scott?
I'm going to just say whatever David said in this case, I agree with completely. He said it exactly right. Stafford is still the better quarterback over he and Young. And it's the quarterback's job to get the ball to the right people. And I feel better with Stafford doing it than I do with Young doing it. So, yeah, I will go with the Rams on this one also.
Nick?
You know what? I am going to agree with everything that Scotty just said. Okay, the Rams.
All right, Matt?
Yeah, how can I go against what Nick just said? I mean, that was like spot on, dude. That's exactly how I was feeling. Give me the Rams too.
All right. Go ahead.
I completely agree with Matt just said. The only thing I'm going to add is the Rams do get a healthy, rested Devontae Adams back. And I don't think that they're going to let what happened in the regular season versus Carolina repeat. Prove that history doesn't always repeat and that they'll be able to get the job done.
All right, Bobby.
Yeah.
Rams or Panthers?
Rams.
I really expected after all of that for Bob just to go, give me Panthers.
Rams. No.
All right. For the craziness that has been 2025.
Don't do it, Keegan.
Panthers.
Don't.
Give me the
What the
Panthers.
fuck is wrong with you?
I don't think it'll happen, but it would be hilarious if it did.
Oh, that was perfect.
All right. So next up, David, San Francisco, Philadelphia.
So it hurts me on a deep level, but times like this, we have to put our inner division stuff aside. And we have to admit that the Eagles are now the representation of the NFC East. So even though they can go fuck themselves and die, I will have to support them in this one. Plus, I got to say, I think this is where the injuries are going to catch up to the 49ers. They're a great team. They've been scrappy this whole year. If they had full health, I think it'd go a different direction because there are a lot of questions, I agree, on Philadelphia's side that they don't have answers for. So it will be a close game. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be low scoring, I think. But ultimately, I think the Eagles will manage to just barely eke it out and put to rest the season for the 49ers, which honestly, I applaud the 49ers for getting as far as they have because they've had a terrible, terrible season in terms of luck. Like they've had guys dropping left and right. I feel like every single week somebody else is out. They've had to do blood sacrifices or something. I don't know what's been going on. They're probably going to be a very scary team next year if they can stay healthy. But I think this is the end of the road for them in terms of how long their luck's going to hold out. So I hate it, but I think Eagles are going to take it at least one more week.
Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles too. And it's kind of been rather difficult for me since for our fantasy league, I've been a Barkley for many years now. This whole season, he's just kind of struggled, which is why I finished so poorly in our fantasy league.
It's wild. I think he went from like his best season ever to one of his worst.
Yeah, exactly. But just in the last, been able to see the last 2 weeks for them, he's starting to kick it into gear now. So can that continue on? I could easily see him continuing it, especially in this game, especially against San Francisco. And like you say, they've been had a horrible year with so many injuries. And now they're starting to get the players with injuries back. But still, Philadelphia has just been on a roll, and I can see that continuing now.
Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to pick Philadelphia as well. I think they've had a rough season, but I definitely think the 49ers are just like David said earlier, the injuries are going to catch up to them here, I think. So, Philly.
All right, Brendan, you taking the 49ers?
Of course. No, I'm kidding. I have a slight, very small hope that that some of these Philadelphia sportscasts are right, and the Eagles were doing just barely enough offense to get into the playoffs. So then when they get into the playoffs, they can show what they're really able to do and, just slaughter everybody and have an easy road to the Super Bowl so they can repeat. It'd be great. I do think our defense is going to carry us. And with us having a top 5 defense in the league, that should help us be able to beat the 49ers at least this week.
Bobby, what about you? Oh no, we lost Bobby.
Bobby, is your mom on the phone?
All right, well, we will take him out.
Ask her if she's taking the 49ers.
Matt, who are you taking?
I think the 49ers are going to do the same thing the 49ers in our fantasy league did, and that's bow out. So I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one.
Yeah, and I'm taking Philadelphia on this one. I have said it all year. I think they have a championship caliber defense. It's more just their offense that has been the question this year. And the way that San Francisco's defense is banged up, they lost 5 more this past game. It's another huge emotional, hard-fought game for them as well. Going across the country, I just don't think they're going to be able to do it, so give me Philadelphia. Brings us to our final matchup of the NFC bracket this weekend. David, Packers, Bears, who do you got?
I kind of go back to, like I said, with the last matchup. I think Green Bay is just still kind of reeling from some injuries. Guys haven't gotten on the field as much as they should. And these last couple of weeks, they've just been awful. They have fallen apart. I don't know what it was. I know they've made the excuse basically of, hey, we're just getting ready for the playoffs, but I don't think they're nearly as solid as they want people to think they are. Whereas the Bears, literally, this is probably one of their best seasons in who knows how long. They are somewhat on a roll right now. They got a hot streak going. I don't know if it's their year yet. I don't know if they're quite that good at this point, but they're building something kind of special over there. And I do think the Bears are going to end up winning this one. Also, in the words of my very dear friend, Nicholas Burgles, fuck the Green Bay Packers.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bears. Once again, I kind of hate to say it, but I have to agree with David here. The Bears have been building up here in the last few weeks. Caleb is doing well. Still wish he'd get together with Odunze pretty better, but the running backs have been strong. Defense has been strong. So it's going to be the Bears in this one. It'll be a battle, but I'm going to give the Bears at least a couple touchdown victories on this one.
All right, Nick.
As I've said throughout this entire fantasy league here, my favorite teams are the Vikings and whoever's playing the Green Bay Packers. So go Chicago.
Brendan. All right, looks like we have technical difficulties with Brendan. But it looks like we do have Bob back in the house.
Yeah.
Bobby,
Yo.
Green Bay or Chicago?
Oof. I got to go. I think Chicago and upset over Green Bay.
Okay, what about?
I don't think that'd be an upset.
Rob, who are you taking, Philadelphia or the 49ers?
Philadelphia's a good team, but I think I'm taking the 49ers.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
all right. Matt, what about you? Green Bay, Chicago?
Give me the Saints.
The Saints.
Oh yeah, I am picking between those two teams. They're on my crap list, man. It's gonna be a great game, but that's that. No, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with the Bears. I think the Bears are gonna play a little bit better than the Packers. There, don't generally.
Woofda.
And Brendan, Green Bay, Chicago.
Duh, Bears. I just think that Green Bay has too many injuries. I also am kind of hoping that Chicago goes far just because their head coach left the Lions, and I just find it funny that if the Bears were able to make the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl before, the Lions did. So yeah.
I'm obviously taking the Bears. I think the Packers are definitely, like David has said earlier, kind of falling off late, but they also play Chicago very well no matter who's in the game. Just what happens in these rivalry games. I think it's only the third time it's happened in the playoffs, so it's kind of fun. But I think Caleb does enough to get the job done, and they get Rome back this week. He's been out a couple. So that should be good. So at least by consensus, that would set up the division games next week. The Rams going to Seattle, Philadelphia going to Chicago. So we flip it to the opposite side. We got the wholesome Houston Texan defense taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers-led Aaron Rodgers. David,
the saintly Steelers.
True, they do have some Catholic priests on their side. Who are you taking? Are you taking wholesome or heavenly?
I think that the wholesome thing for the wholesome team to do is help the heavenly team get there faster. So I think Houston is going to absolutely pulverize them. Honestly, I am a little scared for Aaron Rodgers. He might get hurt in this game. So yes, I think Houston by far will take this. I don't think it's going to be super exciting. I think it's going to be close to a massacre. I think this is going to be the most lopsided game that we see out of the playoffs this year.
Scott?
I agree. I'm going to go with the wholesome of the entire Houston Texans football team over the Steelers very easily. Yeah, it'll be a massacre. Easily the Texans, no problem at all.
Nick?
As much as I want to see Adam Thielen go on to the to win this, I think the wholesome Houston Texans are definitely going to come out on top.
Matt?
I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. The Steel City, the terrible towel wavers. Adam Thielen, my guy. I'm taking the Steelers.
Matt, I like where you're going with that pick. Brendan?
Actually, I think Houston will win. I just trust their team all around more than Pittsburgh. I haven't been able to trust Pittsburgh offense. They've been too hot and cold that at least Houston's been consistent.
Hey, we all know the age-old philosophy: never trust anything from Pennsylvania. Am I right?
Brendan doesn't. Bobby, are you taking Pittsburgh, Houston?
I gotta go with the Houston Texans.
See, I think I got to go with Matt on this one, especially knowing that there'll probably be like 5 priests there.
Okay. Don't fucking act. Don't pull Matt into this. You know you were never gonna pick Houston.
Hey,
All
I
because
was
of
going
conflict.
to. I was going to until I found out they do employ Catholic priests on their side, and it apparently does influence the football game. So at that point, and plus they get DK back. I think that's been a lot of their issue the last 2 games.
Are you
I
gonna
think they-
cry? Are you gonna cry when Houston wins the Super Bowl?
No,
Probably.
When they
He says no.
absolutely-
He says no now, but we all know.
yeah, when they
Especially if name-
absolutely destroy the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, are you gonna be upset?
especially when they name that one player the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. when he breaks Sam Darnold's robotic leg, are you gonna be upset?
no.
Or you know what?
'cause,
No, even better.
Catholic priests. They're gonna get him out of the game.
When the Bears go against Houston and they end Caleb Williams' career, are you gonna be upset?
Whoa! Breaking news. Within 45 minutes of John Harbaugh being fired, he had received 7 calls from NFL teams expressing interest in him coaching.
Which is funny because there's only 6 other head coaching positions besides the Ravens.
I think if Pittsburgh loses, Tomlin's out.
Again, I
Listen,
think it depends how far
if
they get.
anything, what'll happen? What'll happen is if the Texans do win the Super Bowl, we will have a live cry cam focused right on Keegan, just to make sure it happens, and we'll air it live for everybody.
I don't cry when a team loses or a team wins that I don't like. I only cried once in Sports Nick, so it's not going to happen even if the Texans.
When's the one time you cried?
Listen, I was there. I was there
Series.
last year. Okay.
But yeah, the Cubs winning the World Series is the only time a tear came to my eye.
Why?
I was there, Keegan. I was there last time you cried. I will get that tear on camera.
You weren't there. Grayson was there. I mean, he was there up until Cleveland lost, and then he walked away. But he was there. All right, so going on to our next matchup, Buffalo, Jacksonville, possibly, at least in my opinion, the best game of the AFC side. David, who are you taking in this one?
You know, I want to say that it's Josh Allen's year. His old Mahomey rival is out. All the big players are gone. It should be a wide open road for the Bills to finally get their due. But Not only is Jacksonville playing for the pools, which we cannot forget that, but I also still have just a little bit of resentment that he took Haley Steinfeld before I could. So fuck Josh Allen. Let's go Jacksonville. We got to give it the old Duval try. They're gonna get it.
But you're so cute.
All right, Scott.
Oh, thank you, Brendan.
Yeah.
What?
Jack,
Said I was so cute.
was this
Your name is not June.
I thought that was like your pet name for me.
No, that's my cat's name.
Wow, then all these texts have been
Are
very
you a
misleading.
pussy, David?
Maybe for you.
That's gross.
All right, Scott.
Yeah, as I've been saying, the Jacksonville is they're on the rise, and for whatever reason, Buffalo is on the way down. So it's going to be Duval. It might be kind of closer than you might think, but toward the end, the fourth quarter will be easily Jacksonville, and they will move on. Go Jaguars.
So I just want to add on as a serious comment about this game. I, like Scott's saying, I do feel like it's like two ships passing and then I'd go in different directions. The fact of the matter is Josh Allen is a fantastic quarterback, and I think he's the superior quarterback in this game, but it's just him. The Bills team is basically all on Josh Allen's back, whereas the Jags may not be as good, but they've got a lot more pretty decent guys to go around to help support their quarterback. So Trevor Lawrence may not be as good as Josh Allen, but comparable enough that with a much more solid team behind him, all of them working together, are going to do more and overwhelm a team that is basically just getting by off of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen had the same team as Trevor Lawrence, I think Josh Allen would take it. But that's not where we are. And I think that as a whole unit, Jacksonville does have a stronger team to go off of. If Josh left the Bills, though, and went to one of his other teams that needs a quarterback now, they could be very scary.
Nick, who are you taking?
I think Jacksonville has the upper hand here. I think they're the hungrier team, and I think I don't know what's going on with David there. I think they're the hungrier team, and I think they
I can make
are more
myself
likely to
disappear.
get it.
See if I just turn this. Oh, I'm gone. Now I'm back. It's an
Brendan,
invisibility cloak.
I think Jacksonville will win. I do think kind of what David was saying. I just think that too much is on Josh Allen's head, and I think Jacksonville has had the more consistent defense throughout the year. And I think just as a team overall, I think Jacksonville has the upper hand. My question is, though, does Buffalo make a head coach change if they do lose?
Yes. Harbaugh would do good in Buffalo.
Honestly, I would hate that because that would make them a very strong team. If you paired him with Josh Allen, even if they had to start over from there, I think they would do great things together. It'd be the new Belichick Brady.
Which is something Bobby down there doesn't want to hear. Bobby, who you got? Buffalo or Jacksonville?
I think Jacksonville's going to be Buffalo. I think because they without the whole team around Trevor Lawrence, they got a better team than Buffalo does.
Plus, they're playing for the pools.
Yeah, you can't rule out that pool. I mean, it definitely factors in. Matt, who you taking? Buffalo, Jacksonville?
I think Bob's smoking crack. I'm gonna go with Buffalo in this one. We've been saying it kind of all year. Buffalo's finding a way to win, and Josh Allen hasn't played his best football this year, which we all know in the playoffs he turns it on. And I think a dangerous Josh Allen is something everyone should be in fear of. And I think he's going to come around knowing that Mahomes is not there to stop him this time. And I think he's going to play with a little bit of a swagger. And
So,
I see Buffalo going.
Matt, before we get to Keegan's pick, I just have a question for you. Hypothetically, let's say Buffalo pulled that off and won it. Realistically, that probably puts Buffalo up against Denver next week. Do you think they take that game?
Against Denver? Yes. Again,
So-
you look at Denver's quality wins, and especially over the past 2 weeks, where Denver's had their starters in. They went up against Kansas City with a third string quarterback, and the Chargers. I'm gonna keep calling them San Diego because of Bob, but the Chargers with all their second stringers on offense, they pretty much benched everybody, and they couldn't win. They couldn't
Yeah.
score offensive touchdowns. So Denver, I don't think is going to be a real threat. If they get
I don't.
past
I know. I think. I
to the
think Denver's going to be
championship
one and
game,
done.
Denver's going to be out. Yeah, I mean,
I don't. I mean,
I just
maybe if they end up going against LA, they might beat LA.
yeah, no, that's a chance there. But I don't like Josh Allen when he is going to be a dangerous quarterback. I think he's somebody to fear, and until he truly gets his ass kicked by anyone else other than Patrick Mahomes, I think Buffalo's it's theirs to lose.
And Keegan,
Yeah.
what's your pick?
So, this is tough. I honestly think there's a very high probability whoever wins this one goes to the Super Bowl from the AFC side. My head is telling me to take the Jaguars, but my heart says Buffalo. Give me the Bills. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be high scoring.
Hey, wait. Before you lock that in, remember who abandoned you and didn't meet you at Chili's?
I mean, to be fair, I didn't go to the Chili's. So
you ghosted Josh Allen.
There was a line out the door.
Friendship over. Friendship over.
Pretty sure that was not even in his top 5 places to go in.
Keegan, can we make an agreement right now? Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl this year. If the Bills win, you have to wear that Josh Allen retirement hat for every sports chat of next year.
Okay.
All right.
If he misses one, I swear to Christ.
If he misses one, he has to give the channel officially to Bob. It becomes Bob Paranormal Studios.
And that brings us to our final matchup of the AFC side, which is the Chargers going to New England. Like Matt said last week, Chargers really didn't play anybody, and they were really pretty vanilla play calling the last couple of weeks, so we'll see what they have in store. But David, do you think it'll be enough to take down the Patriots?
I don't know. I have a feeling that the Patriots may be a little more than the Chargers can handle. As in Drake May.
Drake May.
No. No, realistically, I just don't think the Chargers got it this year. They're okay, but they're one of those teams that should just be lucky they made it to the playoffs. Good for them. Unfortunately, I think England's back on the upswing of things. I don't see dynasty like some people are already talking. I don't think this is a second coming of Brady situation, but they're going to be a damn good team for the next 4 or 5 years at least. So I think they're going to make a strong showing of this. I think they are going to send LA packing.
Scott?
Yeah, the Patriots have been playing really well amongst all of them, Drake May included. And, many months ago when we first started this season this year, I was telling you that I thought the Chargers were going to be the team to watch for the championship for this year. And the Chargers, kind of like Buffalo, have just kind of fallen off the rails here. And kind of just as we were saying with Jacksonville and Buffalo as being two ships passing in the night. Well, same for this game here. Patriots have been playing well and the Chargers have been not. And so it's going to be the Patriots handling this game easy.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one. I don't know if they're going to go very far in the playoffs, but I think they're going to go further than the Chargers.
Brendan?
I don't think this is going to be a close game at all. The Chargers just have too many missing offensive players their offensive line is way too banged up, and I just don't think this can be as close of a game.
Matt?
I think if the Chargers were 100% healthy, this would be a much better game. Even with Herbert back, he still has a fracture in his hand. He's going to have some pain, especially if he gets hit a few times, and not having his original offensive line there. It's too much for Sandy or the Chargers. Unfortunately, they made it, and they're not going to be the healthy team coming into it. And New England's just playing old school New England football. So the Patriots are going to win this one pretty much hands down.
Bobby?
I agree with my bro Matt. Justin Herbert with a broken hand like that, if he gets hit the wrong way or something, that hand's going to break. So I think I'm picking New England.
All right, we'll thank that. We'll bring Nick back on. There he is. There's Nick. I'm also taking New England. I think this is going to be the most lopsided of the games this weekend. Is going to be New England, the Chargers, just because the linemen for Chargers are hurt, a bunch of defensive injuries, some offensive injuries, and New England's been on a heater. So I think they take this one pretty soundly. And so based off consensus, that would place Houston and Denver next week, and Jacksonville traveling to the Patriots in Foxborough. So there's our picks. Come back next week, see how well.
Hold on. Before we go, I want to hear right now, before it all starts, who is everybody picking as who's going to be in the Super Bowl and who's going to win? I'll go first.
I don't want to do it because if I say anything, I'm going to jinx it. So
I'm going to tell you now. I think it's going to be the Rams and Houston, and I think Houston's going to win. And once they win, I'm going to go to the Houston Super Bowl winning parade with Keegan live on my phone so he can watch it and cheer for this wholesomeness.
If Houston wins, I might go down to Houston just to join that.
Do it, dude. We'll hang out. We'll go together.
If Houston wins, I'll be live with Keegan for the crack ham.
If
it's gonna be
win,
Cam Keegan. Stop denying your feelings.
If they win the Super Bowl, I will go to the festivities for the celebrations and bring my phone camera or whatever so we can do some footage and events from there and with Keegan live.
David, if they win, I'll come down to Houston. We'll go to the parade, and I will read the sequel to Gate to Kagoshima if they win.
Hey, no, whoa! I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Calm down. I don't need to. Yeah,
I will still be there with the live crack ham.
Keegan, you have a child. Okay, you got to think about your daughter, man.
Yeah, we don't wish that upon anyone.
You know what, Keegan, if you come here, we will take the drive to go see the Alamo.
All right.
And bring a picture of Nick that we leave there.
Well, speaking of books, David, sounds like we do have a new book in store. What are we reading in this upcoming month?
Correct. For Society of Main Characters, our talk in February is going to be on a book called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And it's really good. If you enjoy, we're going into February, so it's a little romantic, little fantastical, very interesting things. Should be a very good conversation. So if you want to be a part of that, grab it. You got a month to read it.
So stay tuned. We'll be talking that. And like I said, we will be back next. David, before we leave off, what video can people head over and watch on your channel? Football.
You know what? Since we're talking football, yeah, let's go to. We have a bit of a video on Abnormal Voyages that is all about our visit to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the wonderful state of Ohio. Very cool stuff. Definitely a must visit for every football fan at some point in their life, I think. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll even do a sports chat live from there ourselves.
That would be cool. That is only, I think, second on my list of live sports chats, below live commentating at a UNC football game with Nick. Just because
I
I know
agree.
what that means for Nick. I mean, we got to bring Nick home, but we will see you guys all next week. I'm really excited for this week's matchups, and of course, we'll be back hopefully with a another one for Indiana.
One thing will be smelling sweeter than roses, and that's going to be peaches come this coming Friday. Go Hoosiers.
Scott, I hope you have
Sponsored.
a bunch of peaches over there.
Sponsored by Chick-fil-A, the Peach Bowl.
It is. It is. One of my favorite
Actually
restaurants.
ate peaches for dessert tonight. It was quite tasty.
Sounds like we're in the festive mood, but we will be back next week. So we will see you guys.